am excited to bring up Colin Martin. He is the CEO of the Footy Travelers, and they're on a mission to explore and unify the world through the beautiful game. Their repeated experiences worldwide have reinforced the value that both travel and soccer provide in fostering connection, creating relationships, and recognizing that fans have more in common as humans than they have differences as supporters of opposing teams. So come in the soccer stadium, we're going to be soccer fans.
Let's go. All right. No need to wait till Saturday. Thank you, Coral. Before I kick things off and throw out the first pitch, or really any other terrible sports puns, I do have a question. By a show of hands, how many here have heard of the Christmas truce during World War I? Okay, nice, good amount. For those of you who haven't, the Christmas truce was an unofficial ceasefire along the Western Front. And amazingly, there are accounts of soldiers playing soccer in the no man's land between trenches. And sometimes soldiers of opposing armies. I'm gonna let you just kind of think about what that means for a second. And sir, I can see your thoughts almost on your face. And you know what? You're right. Soccer, or football, as we like to call it, footy, has been bringing people closer together, even in the most dire circumstances, for over 100 years. Now, some raised eyebrows. Maybe that's a bit of a lofty claim. But what if I told you that I have seen soccer do exactly that with my very own eyes? Again, my name is Colin Martin. That is my longtime travel buddy, Mike Taroni. And together we co-founded the Footy Travelers. Over the last 16 years, we've traveled to every continent where human beings live, attending everything from regular season matches to the spectacle of 5 World Cups. Over those same last 16 years, the world at large has shown us countless examples of human beings behaving, I'll just say, unkindly towards each other, for whatever reason. But the Footy Travelers have nonetheless witnessed soccer as a unifying force, bringing people closer together across borders and between cultures. Now, admittedly, that is something that not everyone gets to see, because in order to see that, you have to travel, which itself is a privilege, and one that comes with costs, namely money, time, and energy spent planning, all equating to a fair amount of stress. But that's where we come in. For those who know us, we've been addressing those costs and relieving that stress for a while now, whether it's through our travel guides, our social media presence, or our 5-star rated podcast, which all of you should subscribe to. But let's talk about why all of this matters now. The next several years are going to be massive for soccer in the US, with the Club World Cup being hosted here next summer, but most importantly, with World Cup 2026 hosted here, Canada, and Mexico. And with the anticipated growth of the sport that's coming with these events, will come, inevitably, more fans. And with more fans comes more competition for tickets, for accommodation, you name it. But that's where we come in yet again. Because after 16 years of footy travel, we've built a strong global network that's ready to lend advice, insights, and sometimes exclusive access when called upon. We've met not just fellow footy travelers, but journalists from ESPN and The Athletic. We've even met a few familiar faces you might recognize from TV shows like Ted Lasso. Wonder if anyone's found his face yet. As an example of this strong network, on our next trip, which kicks off next week, we will be taking in a Manchester City game at the Etihad from the hospitality suites, thanks to a few season ticket holders offering us their spots. We're also going to be meeting some local Wrexham folks that you might recognize from FX's Welcome to Wrexham. But what does all of this mean for you all? Well, over the next several years, we'll be revisiting the 6 inhabitable continents for various major soccer events and regular season matches. And we have something absolutely amazing planned for World Cup 2026. One of the coolest things we've noticed about World Cups, generally, since our first one in 2010, is that the group stage, or the first half of the tournament, isn't just a soccer tournament. It is an international party. And in 2026, we'll be offering a 3-leg group stage trip that lets you experience that party in, mind you, each of the 3 host nations. But here's the thing. We've also noticed that after the group stage, as the knockout stage comes around, things kind of die down. As teams exit the tournament, their fans go home. Games played per day dwindle. And maybe even most importantly, ticket prices jump. So if you're after that exciting international party vibe during the knockout stage, you're kind of waiting around a few days for it, or at the very least, you're paying a premium for it, which honestly is worth it. Go for it. But if you're going to be paying anyway, the best way to take it all in is actually in a country that's still competing in the tournament, which is exactly why we'll be running a second trip, a knockout stage adventure through Europe, letting us follow teams advancing toward the final. We're going to put ourselves in a place where we know soccer passions run high. And I can see faces again, maybe some dubious eyebrows. Max is kind of smirking. I know what you're thinking, Max, and don't worry about the logistics. My day job is actually in data analytics. I'm all about data-driven decisions to make sure we'll be in the right place at the right time. So, if you are ready for a soccer-centric international party, but more importantly, if you believe that soccer, footy, football, still has the power, even after 100 years, to bring people closer together, and you want to surround yourself with people that believe the same thing, then come explore and unify the world with us. The first step to securing your spot on one of these or any of our upcoming trips in the future is to simply register your interest, which you're welcome to do at any time at footytravelers.com. Mike and I would love to connect with anyone who has any questions or ideas. I thank you all for coming out here tonight. I'll thank you in advance for coming out here Saturday. We hope to see you on the road soon. Thank you very much.